Hey guys, Roger Langell, Charlotte, North Carolina, where the weather is not very nice, but that's okay. It's November 26th, 7:59 p.m. We'll be kicking this off in just a minute for you. Welcome everybody from around the world, which is pretty amazing and always kind of blows me away when folks hop on here and they're from every place, every corner of the world coming out here to listen to us here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Houston, Texas, and we keep delivering and keep exploding. On your screen right now, you'll see our Alexa ranking. If you're not familiar with Alexa, what they do is they're the authority in determining one of the most popular websites in the country and in the world. And after 90 days, we're 758th in the U.S. out of millions of sites, and our global ranking 3,964 out of billions of sites. I only mention this to let you guys know that obviously something is going on. If so many people are visiting the site and hanging out, and somebody's invited you here, or if you get a message about this and you decide to take a little time off because you're looking for something a little bit different. So I started that path nearly 10 years ago, where I was stuck in a kitchen, stuck in a restaurant 86 hours a week, and I was looking for something different, and I kind of developed it myself, that this idea of making money online just seemed like a big cliff. I didn't know how to do it, and I just got going. I put some stuff on eBay, and I developed that over the last decade, and I couldn't bring it to market. The first few years I just loved it and did it myself, and then I started privately training people. I didn't have the skill set, and as I developed it more and more and more and made it more and more smooth and helped out a lot of people personally, more and people were interested in it, and I ran into a gentleman named Hitesh out of Houston, a gentleman named Kevin Hokawana out of Japan, and we all got on one night and just conceived how we could bring this to the market, how we could make it so the average person wins with Ds Domination, and how we could start changing lives. So we brought this out and we were blown away. We almost crashed a major server. We had to switch it overnight into the dead of the night. There were so many people visiting the site, millions, and coming in here and just celebrating their victories. Average people winning, below average people winning, and just paying bills, paying mortgages, and making money. And you may have heard these stories. You may have seen them on Facebook. You're kind of dumbfounded that some people that had never made money in anything are all of a sudden making money, and now you're here to see the real deal. So I'm going to introduce a gentleman. I'll come right back here shortly. This gentleman's out of Houston, Texas. Again, his name is Hitesh, and he's one of the most brilliant minds online. He worked in the background for a long time. Nobody had really heard of him. Very well respected in the community of people that did know of him. He had made loads of money for other people, over $1 million in sales himself online before I even met him. And he was kind of the mastermind, all the programming and bringing this out to market. So big applause to yourself. We can't hear you, but ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hitesh.
Well, thank you, Roger. Despite the butchering of my name, I'm glad that you think highly of me. But guys, all of that aside, okay, let's forget about what I have done or how great Roger is and how great all of these people are, right? Any webinar you've gotten, have you ever gotten on a webinar and somebody said, yeah, we're all losers on here, so listen to us? They all say that they're all great, right? They all appreciate each other and talk about great stuff. So it's nice and all that we talk about each other so positively, but that doesn't really apply to you. And that's actually going to be the tone of our entire webinar. So this whole webinar, we don't want you to think about how awesome we are or how awesome this site is or anything like that. We want you to just use your logic. We don't want you to rely on emotion. I'm sure you've been on webinars before. I'm sure you've had people present things to you before. And we want this to be very different from that. We are actually going to appeal to your logic and your self-analytical abilities, we're not going to try and convince you of anything specific. Okay, so before I actually get going, we have hundreds of people on here already. So I'm going to ask a very simple question. How many of you guys have actually been on a webinar before and you were presented something? Like if you've just been on a webinar, just so I know that a lot of you are familiar with the process of how a webinar goes and what happens on a webinar. Okay, brilliant. So we have clearly out of the hundreds, a very significant majority are very familiar with webinar format. And usually this is what a webinar is about, right? They basically pitch you this IM model. They tell you, oh, hey, I have this magic software or a magic offer or a magic ebook or whatever, and this is going to, we're going to find a product, and then we're going to exploit their sales page. We might generate some leads or do follow-up emailing and whatnot, and then they're going to talk about driving traffic, right? This is the kind of stuff that usually happens in all those webinars. Now, here's the reality that no matter how well they present it, the reality is 98% of the people who follow this format fail at it, okay? In fact, you could eliminate all of these steps, but this step right here, the drive traffic step, which involves PPV and CPV, or PPC, SEO, CPL. As you can imagine, all the people apparently who like traffic, they like all their short acronyms. So all of this stuff results in massive failure rates, okay, 98% failure rates. And this is obviously a problem with this model. It's not a problem with the people. You cannot say that 98% of the people are just lazy and just don't want to work. Maybe there is a percentage of people who don't work. But by and large, this is actually a systemic problem, a mathematical problem with this entire model. Okay, it doesn't matter if you've done MLMs or network marketing or affiliate marketing before, 98% of the people fail. I'm actually going to prove that mathematically there's a problem with this model, and it's not the problem with the people in this. Okay, so when you sign on for this webinar tonight, we actually said something. We said, look, we're going to show you a pathway to generating an income for the average user with none of this technical stuff and none of this driving traffic stuff. So we're not going to do anything technical. We're not going to worry about driving traffic, and we are not going to worry about even spending a lot of money doing anything fancy or anything like that. Okay, it's actually going to be almost negligible cost, and it's going to be about doing nothing fancy, nothing technical, and about driving no traffic. Okay, and that's where we're going to begin this journey. Okay, so we're going to begin the journey with our first step in this. Now, the first step, and this is something that we've been doing for a while, and we're going to present this to you. And the first thing that will scream out to you is, this is ridiculously easy, right? This is incredibly simple process. There's nothing very loophole-ish about it. It's not like some loophole that we discovered or some magic thing that we know about the online world that you don't. This is a very simple process, but we have really combined together 3 major platforms to make it work, okay? So our first goal with step 1 is going to be that we're going to generate immediate profits. We're not going to try and make millions of dollars or even tens of thousands of dollars. We're just going to try and become profitable, because most of the people, they fail because they're not profitable right off the bat. So we're going to try and be profitable. Like I said, we're going to generate no traffic, no technical stuff, no building websites, no buying domain names, no doing all this kind of stuff that you're used to, no selling or recruiting people or anything like that. And we're going to focus on what we call piggybacking, okay? And piggybacking is what we have done throughout history in all forms of commerce, and we'll explain that a little bit more. But what we're going to do essentially is we're going to combine 3 major platforms. The first platform we're going to use is called dsdomination.com. Like we showed you, this is an extremely popular website, 758 in the United States, very, very well respected, very popular platform. The other one is called eBay, and if you haven't heard of eBay, then I kind of pity you, but I think everybody has heard of eBay, which is number 8 in the US. The third platform or site that we're going to use is called Amazon, which is number 5 in the US. Okay, we're going to combine these 3 massive mammoth platforms and engines together to generate an income for us and for all of our average people. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to actually pass the screen on to Roger. He's going to walk you through a very, very simple, very specific process. And there are going to be 2 things that you're going to ask yourself as you follow the process. You don't really have to take notes on it or anything like that. It's very simple, so there's nothing convoluted that you need to take notes on. But you have to ask 2 questions. The first question you need to ask yourself is, can I do this? Okay, and what that means is you actually need to just simply think, can I logically follow this process? Do I have the capacity to do the things that Roger is doing on the screen? Okay, we're not going to be hiding anything from you. He's not doing something magical in the background. He's going to do everything on screen. He's going to show you the process. Just ask yourself, can I do this? And then ask a simple question. Does this make sense? Okay, don't rely on us saying this works. Don't rely on us showing you all the stuff that it works. Just ask yourself the question, hey, does this make sense? Okay, does this, or is this something bizarre that I'll have to believe these people to buy into it? Just ask yourself, does this make any sense? Okay, so Roger, I'm going to pass the screen on to you, and if you would just walk us through this process, let's go through exactly what we're going to do in step 1, and with that, we're going to start generating our immediate profits. So, do you have the screen now?
I absolutely do. Welcome again, everybody, to this presentation. Yeah, exactly. We're going to make this so simplistic for you. I'm starting off at Amazon.com, and of course, you guys can all go to Amazon.com on your computer. You got to be on a computer to be watching this piece of cake. And I'm going to actually show you how to reach into your computer screen and move products over to eBay. Not literally, but I'm going to show you how to move products from Amazon over to eBay, have customers buy those products from you on eBay, go back to Amazon and ship it direct to your customer without pre-buying it, nothing in your garage, no out-of-pocket money, nothing, okay? So I'm on Amazon right now. I'm going to type in the color blue. Why blue? What's he doing? Do I have to type in blue? No. When you're doing this, this will be your routine if you decide to do this. When you come downstairs in the morning, you look on your computer, you go to Amazon.com, and you'll type in something. I don't know what you're going to type in. I'm going to type in blue. And for this, I'm just going to put Amazon behind it. And the only reason I'm typing in Amazon is because the results will come up with results from other companies that sell on Amazon, and I want to get rid of that. So I want to search for anything blue sold by Amazon. Go. And when you wake up tomorrow, you can search for anything you want, and you'll come to some starting place. And here I am at a starting place. There's 2,677,911 results to choose from. I'm going to go through every single one of them. I'm just kidding. I'm just going to grab the first one, and I'm going to go research this on eBay. So this is the first one, some sort of dishware set. You put your leftover Thanksgiving and turkey in here for the next day. You get your mayonnaise, your salt and pepper. You make yourself a sandwich. Okay, ready? Okay, over to eBay. I'm going to type in a few words. Pyrex Kitchen 10. Let's go search eBay with this big blue search button and see what comes up. See if anybody's got these dishes on eBay. Okay, I got 28 results to choose from. They're all this white background. They're the pretty dishes that we're going to put our turkey in here coming up. And as I scroll through, I can start looking at them. All I'm recognizing now is there's multiple sellers. This one sold, somebody took their own picture, but these are all mostly from Amazon, right? All white photo. You couldn't take that picture yourself. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to research one of these people. I don't want to sell this dishware set. I'm just starting somewhere. Just like tomorrow morning, you'll pick a word and you'll start somewhere and you'll type in eBay and come over here. So I'll orientate you a little bit with the screen. This person put these up. They're saying they got 8 sets available. They want 3105. I'm not seeing any sales here. Their username is Renato123456. They have stellar feedback. All I'm going to do is click on See Other Items and see what they have up for sale. So I see that they have 1,841 items up for sale. Don't care, doesn't, whatever. But what I want to look at is the backgrounds. These are all white backgrounds. These tell me, okay, cool, these are Amazon photos. So you're moving products over from Amazon to eBay. Cool for you. But what I want to know is how you're doing. I want to know if you're making money so I can make money. So I'm going to scroll down. On the left side over here, I'm going to click on Sold Listings, and I'm going to take a look at what's sold. So I look here, November 25th, yesterday, 7:12 p.m., sold some sort of paper target, okay? So I'm still on eBay. I'm going to click on this paper target. I'm going to say, okay, you sold it for 16 bucks. Let me go down here and grab part of your title, copy this, head back over to Amazon and see what your cost was. And when I click go, oh, it was only $5.99, so you basically made $10 minus a couple dollars in fees for 4 minutes work. Congratulations for you. $8-9 profit, 4 minutes work. The next one I see here is these pet groomer clippers that he sold for $24. I click on this, and I see he sold them for $24. He charged $5 shipping, $29. If I head over to Amazon and say, okay, what'd you make off that? And I paste this in here, and I click go. I see they're $18.70. He made $11 minus some fees, made another $8 for 4 minutes work. How much is $8 for 4 minutes work an hour? That's 15 listings times 8, $120 an hour. This guy's doing pretty well. I'll check one more, and then I'll kind of tie it all together for you. Here's some dishes. It's a 48-piece set, Thanksgiving coming up, large family, $139 they sold for. If I grab part of this title right here, copy this, and go over to Amazon.com and say, okay, how much were they on Amazon? I take a look. I see, all right, they're $27 for a 16-piece set. Looks like you had a 48-piece set, so you threw 3 sets together. 27 times 3 is 81, and you sold them for $139, a $58 profit for 4 minutes work. And I can go on and on and on. You can see all the sold items here. Here's a safe that sold, for example, $239.95 for the safe. Let me grab part of this title right here, copy it. I'm going to head back over to Amazon. I'm going to paste that in the search, and I see the cost of the safe was $130.61, free delivery. Sold it for $239, made $109 for 4 minutes work. And I'm going to show you that 4 minutes work right now, okay? Now, when I look at this description right here, 0.0 cubic feet, etc., 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 and I scroll over here, I see 0.0 cubic feet capacity in solid steel construction. This is eBay. This is Amazon. 0.080 cubic capacity in solid steel construction. All they did was move this image here and this description over to eBay and sold it for more. Now, I know you got a lot of questions. I know I've done this presentation before. I know you're excited, and I know you've got a lot of questions. So I'm going to briefly go through a couple little things that I know you're asking about it now, okay? You might be saying, well, how does that work? Isn't the customer going to be upset it comes from Amazon? Right now, I'll show you this person's feedback, and I'll show you several others later on in the presentation. 13,804 feedback. That means that they've sold about 3 times that, because the seller or buyer will leave feedback 1 in 3 times. So they've sold 40,000 items over several years with 99.1% feedback. I actually ended my career with 100% feedback and sold even more items than that. I sold for the better part of a decade, did $1.2 to $1.8 million in sales from my living room, no overhead. The other question you might have, if you're not tying this all together and you haven't grabbed your spouse or your dog and dragged them over the computer and went, oh my gosh, I'm not working anymore. If you're not freaking out right now, let me tie this little piece in for you. He doesn't have this in his garage. This isn't pre-bought. This isn't in his car. This isn't anywhere. It doesn't exist in his physical world. Okay, it just doesn't exist. He just moves the stuff over here. Then when a customer comes in and buys it, let's say Joe Smith from Little Rock, Arkansas says, you know what? I need a safe. Sees this safe, buys it for $240. This individual, and tomorrow this will be you, is going to go over to Amazon and go, okay, let me go ahead and add this safe to my cart, and then it's going to say, Amazon's going to say, where do you want to ship it to? And that seller's going to say, John Smith, Little Rock, Arkansas. Because eBay's going to give the seller, or you tomorrow, the address to ship to. Then they're going to ship this off. They're going to pay $130.61 for it, and they're going to end up with a net profit of $100 and something. How long does it take? It will take you about 4 minutes to list 1 item on eBay, or 15 items an hour. Even if you made $5 an item, you'd be making $75 an hour. We call this pro, okay? And this is the first level of our money-making thing that we're going to show you here tonight. When I say our first level, we're not going for get all these levels, rock and roll, look, we're going to make a bunch of money. We want you to just get the first level. We want you to get started, get in profit, and we're going to show you even more stuff and even more money you can make. But step 1 to changing your future and changing your income status in the next 90 days is level 1. We call it pro. Back to you, Hitesh.
Thank you, sir. Well, I always enjoy watching this. I've seen this many times, but it's always fun because inevitably every single time that we do this, there's like some new product with some new profit margin that's on there, and I'm thinking, oh, I should go do that next. So let me explain a couple of things though, because I know one natural reaction that we might have to this is there are actually 2 types of reactions. One is this illegal? Because it seems too easy, right? I mean, this immediately makes it seem like this is so easy. There must be something wrong with this. There must be something illegal about it. And there isn't whatsoever. In fact, there's no violation of any terms of service of any site whatsoever. Drop shipping is perfectly fine by eBay standards. Drop shipping is perfectly fine by most website standards, actually. What we are doing is the classic e-commerce stuff. Okay, e-commerce is electronic commerce, but basically what is commerce? Basically, the supplier, you get stuff from a supplier, and then you sell the product in the marketplace, no matter what your product is. Okay, so the donut shop gets stuff for to make a donut, they make a donut and they mark it up and they sell it in the marketplace. Or at Walmart, they source the product from somewhere else, they sell it in the marketplace for a higher price. That's basically what we are doing here as well. Okay, except in step one, we are doing it in the easiest way possible. We're going to rely on eBay and Amazon because they're very easy to get started with. Now remember, we are doing this with these sites because it's very, very easy to do. Okay, so here's you can come along with your Amazon as supplier and eBay as your marketplace, and you can basically plug in and start generating an income with this pretty much right off the bat. Okay. Now remember what I said in the beginning. I said we're going to do this with almost negligible cost, and we're going to do this with negligible issues, and we're going to do this very quickly. Okay. So when Roger mentioned, this is step one, the only cost you would have in this entire process would be called Ds Domination Pro, and I'll explain why we actually need that for this. And Ds Domination Pro will set us out total of $19.95 a month. Okay, you guys don't need to pay us thousands of dollars for this. We're not going to charge you a $297 one-time special or something like that. That's all the cost there is to this whole thing. I'll explain why we actually need this, because this is a very simple process, but there are 2 or 3 small complexities to this. The first complexity to this is, how do I know what to sell? Right? Like, how do I find a product to list? So we need to actually have a way to research these items and make sure that we can actually generate a profit on them. And we do it in a very easy way. When we are using the Ds Domination platform, it actually gives us access to their research system as well. And all I did in this case is I typed in crossbow over here. And what we're going to do is now we're going to easily discover what products to sell where we can make a nice profit margin on them. So first of all, I'm going to set the rating to greater than 4. So I only see good products. And then I'm going to say, show me products where the new price is, let's say, greater than 50, or let's say greater than 45 even, and show me where the old price, which means the market value, is greater than 60. Okay, so we know that there's going to be a profit margin there. I'm going to hit enter, and you notice that immediately it shortlisted the products that are going to be profitable for me. So as you can see right here, there's a Gerber Zombie Apocalypse Survival Kit that is available on Amazon for $246, but in the past it sold for $349. That might be a nice profit margin for us right there. Here's another one for $48.99, but its previous market value was $88.99. In fact, a used one is still selling for $43. So we know it can be sold on eBay for a good profit margin. All we would do is when you find a product like this, we're going to open this in a new window, and we're just going to copy paste this information from here over to eBay onto our listing. Okay, so that's how easy this is. This is why we actually need the Ds Domination platform to know what to sell. The second question is, what do I price the product at, right? So there's actually a profit calculation system built into this that you will go through when you're using Ds Domination. And the basic idea is your profit equals sales price minus Amazon price minus total fees. Okay, so the eBay fees and the PayPal fees. It's a very simple process, and you can figure it out very, very easily. We have all the instructions on that, and we have a calculator in there, so you can use that to determine what your profit margin should be. Third question that comes up is, well, won't eBay get upset if they see all of these people using the same images and stuff like that? And the truth of the matter is, in some cases, eBay does get upset about that. So what you need to do is you need to use what we call the image optimizer. And you basically brand these images to your own eBay account. So we're going to go in here. Let's say we select any product that we're going to be selling. I'm just going to grab a random product from in here. Let's call it this product right here. I'm going to put my username in here. Okay, so my username for eBay is going to go in here. And I'm just going to click submit. This is now going to show me the image of this product that I'm going to be uploading. I'm going to select this image, just the area of the product that I need for this particular thing. I'm going to click crop, and now this is going to format this product image in the exact dimensions that eBay likes. It's going to brand it to my username. It's going to scramble the signature on it, so it's actually going to say that it came from your computer, which solves that one major problem that many new people on eBay might have. Okay, so what about the images? What about the images? solved. Okay. The final thing that happens is, okay, all that's great and fancy dandy, but there's thousands of people who can copy paste the exact same information. How will my product stick out? How will somebody necessarily come to my product and choose my listing on eBay and purchase from me? And that's where comes in the final process, which is really the whole thing that drives this, is the process called titling. Okay, titling is the process by which we target what audience should be seeing our product. Okay, and there's something of an art to it, and people like Roger, who have been blessed with that ability to figure out what the right title is, they can use that, they can come up with it, and that's how they make a lot of successful money with this. But it's not always good to have something that's that nobody can copy. So here's actually a way that we can copy this. What I'm going to do is just type in crossbow here, because remember we were looking crossbow items. I typed in crossbow, and now the title builder is going to tell me which categories I should target with it. Here are all the different categories where I can go in. And it's telling me here are the keywords that people are typing in on eBay currently for these type of items. So if you just watch this video up here, it's going to show you exactly how to compose the perfect title using these keywords, and you can actually compare yourself to other people who are selling on eBay at the same time, things like that. And that finally takes care of our final step, which is titling. All of these things combined, once you understand how to do this, will take you maybe a couple of minutes, okay? But all of this will make your process super easy, and all of this, all the software, all the training, all of the step-by-step thing, and the live help that goes with it, it's all included in this $90.95 a month. So we're not trying to sell you on some magical software. We're not saying, oh, look, if you pay us $1,000 more, we'll give you the software. Nothing like that. We're actually just showing you the exact business model. Okay, so we leverage Ds Domination Pro for these benefits of it. We leverage Amazon as a supplier. We leverage eBay as the marketplace. And now that we have started making some money, okay, let's say we've started making $500 to $1,000. That's our aim really with step one, is $500 to $1,000. See, we're not trying to make millions of dollars with this. Now it's time for us to move on and actually start scaling up our income. Now we're going to go on to step two. And in step two, we're going to do what any logical business owner does. Now we're going to start diversifying our income. We don't want to be reliant on Amazon as the only supplier, and we don't want to be reliant on eBay as the only marketplace. We're going to start diversifying our income. Now we're going to start making more money per sale. We're going to start the process of what we call double dipping, and we'll explain that in a second. So we'll actually be getting paid not just from the marketplace, but we'll also be getting paid by the supplier. And at this point, we're still piggybacking. Our business is growing, and now we're going to shoot for the full-time income. Our goal here is really to get to $2,000 to $3,000 a month or more, whatever you need. And at this step is what we call elite. And remember, the cost for elite, which in this case now it becomes $99 a month, since we are dealing with a lot more sources and a lot more things like that, all of this cost is going to come from our profits here. So our out-of-pocket cost for this is going to be zero. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pass the screen back to Roger, and Roger is going to actually show us some examples. So he's basically going to show you guys some of the other suppliers, some of the products that we have done with other suppliers that we are selling on the marketplace, and how much more profit there is because we're no longer just reliant on Amazon. So Roger, here is the screen for you. If you can please enlighten us.
Awesome, thank you. And I want to drive home just a couple quick things there, because you should be, if you have just a little speck of hope left in your body, you should be blown away by what just happened. And when I say that, I recognize that people have tried other things, and you might be on here going, I'll just bother to get on here. And there might be some people that are still hopeful and stuff like that. But you have just a little bit of hope. Recognize I didn't say, you could maybe look at my Lamborghini. I just showed it to you. Here it is right here. I don't own eBay. I don't own Amazon. Here it is right here for you. And when you put those items up there, it's not, you might say to yourself, all right, I put an item up. Now what? When you put an item up on eBay, it's like you're standing in the center of a Super Bowl football field, and you're holding up whatever it is, a toaster oven, and all those people up in the stands are looking at it. Okay, I used to have thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of visitors come to my website every single day, or not my website, my eBay site, and which isn't anything special. You just put the item on eBay, and you got an eBay site. So it's just a matter of putting those products up. Really, that's how easy it is. And then, of course, the titling and stuff like that. Very simple stuff. And all of the videos, Tej mentioned not to write down anything, because all the videos in the back office, you're looking over my shoulder watching me do it step by step. So moving on to Elite. Again, you're in pro, you're 1995, you're making some great money, you're saying, geez, these guys are right. Thank goodness I got on this webinar. Thank goodness my friend invited me. I'm sure excited, like all of our participants are, making money often for the first time. And you say, what's next? And this is what's next, the scaling up. So I'm just going to give you some examples of things that we've sold here in the recent past in our test accounts and things like that. Here's the basketball set, $379. Awesome. We turned around, we sold that for $459.98. And not only we saw one, we sold two of them for $459.98. In the subsequent section, a lot higher markups. Here's one of these little kids' plastic houses and stuff like that, you know, kids' playhouse, $299. We sold that on eBay for $478.50. We sold four of them. A little bit of a different picture. Notice the little three hearts up top there. There it is right there, the three hearts. Our cost $300, sold it for $178 profit times four. I know it's unbelievable, but I couldn't fake an eBay background here. Here's an 8-piece luxurious tufted chair set. I have kids, you'll never see these in my house, but beautiful set of chairs, 8-piece, $579. We sold those for $1,099, and we did it twice, a markup of $500. I know you're blown away by that, and you're like, come on, is this real? Of course it is. People go on, they say, I want those 8 chairs, they're lovely. Everybody on eBay is not you. Or maybe it is you. There's rich people on eBay, there's doctors on eBay, and there's part-time workers at McDonald's buying on eBay. So everybody will buy something. It's really easy to put these items up and make some money. I'll just keep going. Here's some sort of weather vane type system. Our cost was $99. Sold that for $219.58. We did that 2 times. Here's a patio furniture set. Cost was $449.99. We sold 3 of them in 24 hours at a markup of about $100, $546 we sold 3 of them for. Television set, $4,399. We sold that for. The cost after rebates and stuff like that was $3,299. We haven't even mentioned we're international, but by the way, we are. We ran a test account over in the UK. Our cost was $299. Actually, we get a deal. We get $30 off that, so it was $269. Marked that up $110 and sold that in Tonbridge, United Kingdom. That was my worst accent ever, but that's
just to point out, that's pounds. So that wasn't
pounds. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was pounds.
Correct,
so that was actually close to twice the dollars.
Awesome. Well, you run the bank accounts. Okay, this we sold for her. This was $179.99. Actually, I'm out of sequence here. I apologize. But I think we sold that one for about $250. I'll kind of end with this chandelier right here, and I kind of hide the price. And this is kind of to magnify something. You're thinking to yourself, well, why would people pay more? Why would they pay more on eBay? Well, the thing is people don't go cross-shop all the time. They don't compare and things. If you go get a can of Coke tomorrow at the gas station or a cup of coffee, you don't go, oh, you know what, I was going to pay $1 for this cup of coffee. If I go to Walmart, I can get the grinds and go home and grind only 18 cents a cup. You don't do that all the time. And the jeans you're wearing, you did not get the guy that made them in China to make them for you custom and pay $1.46. Okay, you saw them, you liked them, you bought them. So I'll ask you this last screen here. How much does this cost? Is this a beautiful chandelier, elegant, that costs thousands of dollars? Or is this like a cheap Walmart knockoff that costs $50? I don't know. Actually, I will know in a second when I scroll down. But the thing of it is, you might see it and say, you know what, that's the perfect chandelier. The cost on this was $122.99, and we sold that, 5 of them, for $182.99, a markup of $60. We call this branching out towards other systems, selling on eBay, selling on Google at the same time with no thought. One click of the button, you're on Google, and multiple suppliers so you can get higher profits, make even more money after you put your money in your pocket at the pro level. We call this elite. Back to you, Hitesh.
Okay, at this point, is everybody beginning to see that this is a business model and not a gimmick? This is the whole idea behind this, is that you're really doing what a regular business owner does. You find products, you find suppliers, You provide the products in the marketplace, you target your audience properly, you get the sales coming in, you use the income coming in to scale up and diversify more, and then you basically become a full-blown, full-time income coming in type of deal, okay? Now, question. The only benefit that you had in this whole process was that you didn't have to deal with any of the money costs in setting up your inventory. You didn't have to buy anything up front. You didn't have to do any of that kind of stuff. You didn't have to generate any traffic. You didn't have to build a site. You didn't have to do any of that stuff. How many of you would prefer to do something like this than go out there, build your own sites, build your stores, buy some space out there, and start stocking products? I think it should be a pretty obvious decision. It should be pretty obvious which one you should be doing at this point. But you know, I get ahead of myself sometimes. I actually want to stop for 1 second here. We're going to show you one pretty awesome thing after this double dipping thing that we mentioned here. We're going to cover that in a second. But before I do that, in case you guys are wondering, hey, is this legit? What if other people, is this like the first time somebody's seeing this? So on November 14th, exactly 12 days ago, we actually had a webinar with people in our system right now. And we have thousands of people in here, actually close to 15,000 people. And we asked the question, we had 1,000 people on the webinar, which is the limit. And we said, okay, if you are making money with this, can you please just drop a note in the chat box letting us know that you're making money with this? And here are the results from that. And I would like you to notice the timestamps on it. 7:54 p.m. And here are all of the questions, all of the people reporting the money that they're making. And this is not edited at all. There might be somebody who said something negative in there that I haven't edited whatsoever, because we don't believe in that. No company ever shares their chat boxes like this with people. Here is more, and here is more. And it just kept going on and on and on. We actually counted over 730 people who very specifically told us what kind of profits they were generating from doing this. And that's out of roughly 980 people who were on the webinar with us at the time. So wow. I know that you guys are you have all these questions. I'm going to come to all the questions. But I want you guys to understand something. Only 2% of people in any kind of online business, or right now, of any kind, basically, network marketing, MLMs, affiliate marketing, whatever they're doing, only 2% of them actually succeed. Okay, everybody else takes a loss. Now, it'd be pretty nice if we had a 10% success rate or a 20% success rate, right? In our case, when we tallied our first month alone, we had 83% of users in profits in their first 30 days. Okay, that's unheard of. Okay, and the reason that's so successful is because this is a very straightforward business model. You're not relying on a loophole that's here today and gone tomorrow. You're not relying on some fangled idea. You're not trying to build up a market yourself. You're not dealing with traffic generation. You don't have any massive costs. Your total cost is going to be $20 a month, if that. Okay, so all we're doing is we're really leveraging these three systems together: suppliers, marketplaces, and facilitators, in this case Ds Domination, make this whole system work. And that's how this thing works. So having clarified that, so hopefully this kind of gets you guys really paying attention, I'm going to cover the final step in this step 2. In step 2, we have two things. One is elite, where now we have diversified income, we're making all this money. But then something interesting starts happening. Okay, what do you think happens when you're moving all this product for these manufacturers and suppliers? These suppliers start fighting for you. Okay, they want you to work with them more. So they start trying to give you incentives. They start saying, hey, listen, buy from me instead. Buy from me. Whenever you sell a product, do the business with me instead. And they start giving you all these sort of incentives and cashbacks and special discounts and all that kind of stuff. And that step, and when we come to that stage is known as unleashed. Now, as before, I want you guys to keep this in mind. As before, we are only going to pay for unleashed out of our profits. Okay, so we are basically cost out of pocket is still virtually zero. Okay, and this unleashed is going to cost us $249 one time. Okay, not monthly or anything like that. This is going to be a one-time cost. And what this is going to do is it's going to actually connect us in with all of these special suppliers and special deals and special sources, where our income per sale is now going to go up way more. In fact, when you get to this stage, now you get to do something really fun. You are actually able to sell items for prices lower than the supplier and still make a profit because of how much incentive they give you to sell it. Okay, so Raj, if you can show us a few examples, that would be beautiful, because I think it says the best when you guys see some live examples of this kind of stuff. And you can see just how much more profitable this becomes and how you can actually afford to now sell stuff for even lower costs than the supplier himself, which means you basically even get to undercut all the competition, not just with titling, but also with your prices. So, Roger, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I showed those prices earlier, we actually made a lot more money. And just had to said with the relationships that we have with all these companies, this didn't cost us $379. We got 20% off that, so it actually cost $74 less for a total of $305. So when we turned around, we sold that for $459. It was actually a markup of $154. This particular site, we got 15% off, so we made an extra $45 just with the relationships at Unleashed. And oh, by the way, Unleashed includes some of the best suppliers that I ever worked with when I was doing eBay and doing $1.2 to $1.8 million. So this one right here, this cost us $45 less. This cost $255, and this was the one we sold for nearly double at $478, and we sold 4 of them. This one here was only 10% off, but instead of paying $579, we got $57 off, so we paid $524. But we really didn't care when we sold them for $1,099. This company here gave us 15% off of these orders and all of our orders, and you guys will have access to that in the Unleashed as well. And it just keeps going on and on. This furniture supplier was 20% off, so we got $88 off that. Actually paid $361 for that, and sold it for $546, and sold 3 of them in 24 hours before we decided to up our price and sell even more of them. This one here, this was actually our cost. We didn't get any percent off from there. We just used different rebates and stuff because it was better. So we didn't get a discount Unleashed for that one there. As I point out here, we get an extra 10% off here, and as Tesh pointed out, that's in pounds. So the Unleashed level is all about this, and I'll restate the system again. For $19.95, you're in, you're making money, you're working Amazon, you got your $1,000 a month coming in, you know, you're taking an extra vacation, you're looking at your boss kind of funny. Then the elite level, you get all of these multiple suppliers where you don't make $10 a sale, you start making $20, $50, $100 a sale. And then you say to yourself, you know what, I made $3,000, $4,000 this month, that Unleashed is $249, and how much money did I throw out the window by not having Unleashed, because I could have got this for 10% off, 15% off, 20% off, and then you just go, let me take part of that $4,000 or whatever it is you earned, and you go get the Unleashed, and then you get all of these discounts and even more suppliers that'll kind of blow your mind how much money you can make. We call this Unleashed. Back to you, Tesh.
Thank you. Okay. Now, when you heard Roger kind of give that whole business model replay quick, I want you guys to understand something there. This is not a race to see how quickly you can get to Unleashed. Okay? Yeah. This is a business model. Okay? And like all businesses, your business growth and how quickly you get to what stage completely depends on your personal circumstances. Okay? There are going to be people on here right now who are going to say, listen, $100 a month is nothing for me. I'm going to buy Pro and Elite and Unleashed right now, and I'm going to go all the way. That's fine. That's great. Do that. There are going to be other people on the call who are going to say, listen, I'm struggling to pay my electricity bill. What do you suggest I do? And in that case, we always suggest go ahead, start using Pro, take baby steps, start generating an income, and only use your profits to slowly scale up. It might take you an extra 4 weeks or 5 weeks, maybe 2 weeks in some cases. It might take you that long to get to the next step and then scale up your income, but you will have a lot more pleasant time doing that than trying to risk your family's survival by spending money that you don't have. Okay, so don't spend money you don't have. Only use what you need right away, start getting some success with that, and slowly grow from there. Okay, I will tell you guys this. Out of all of our elite members right now, we have a 91% plus retention rate. Here's what that means. That means that people who are using Elite right now, 91% plus of them, more than 91% of them, actually continue the next month and the next month and so on. So that should give you an indication of how successful those users are at that stage and how well they're doing with that. But that is not to say that you need to go to Elite right away. You do need Pro. You want to use Pro to get the foundation in place. You will need the software over here to get all of these things done. When you get to Elite, you're basically just expanding your income from that point on, and then you go to Unleashed and basically keep scaling up from there. Okay, now I actually want to clarify a couple of things, because at this point a lot of people are going to say, okay, but what about support? What happens if I have questions or I get stuck somewhere? What happens there? Okay, so remember way back I showed you guys this. This is the DS Domination members area, okay? And I showed you all the software in here and stuff like that. And here are all the step-by-step trainings. You guys can come in here and you just review the step-by-step trainings over and over as many times as you want. These are all live, which means they're actually done while Roger is showing you stuff on the screen, and you guys can use that. But on top of that, every week, we actually have live training sessions every Wednesday for all of our pro users and every Wednesday for all of our elite users. So you guys can actually come on the webinars and these are not sales webinars or anything. You're just going to get on there and you're going to start asking questions. You're going to say, hey, can you show me how to make money with a lobster? And Roger will type in lobster and he's going to show you how the process would go for you to start using that as your starting point to generate some income. And if you have some more questions or you're worried about what about this, what about that, you can go to the FAQ page where, as you can see, and I think if you just read the questions that we have in here already, it should address all of your questions right away. What if there's a problem with the product? What if the buyer wants to return the product? What if eBay says that my account is limited or PayPal is holding my funds? All of that stuff is all addressed here, and you guys can just go through this as many times as you want. And finally, if beyond this you have more questions, we have live Facebook groups where people come and post in all the time. As you can see, here's people posting all of their successes and what they're doing and what's going on. Here's Landon. He just made his highest profit for an item yesterday. This was 5 hours ago, and so on and so forth. So we have all of that stuff, and on top of that, we have a support desk. So you guys can actually open a support ticket if you need help. So the support is never going to be a problem. The main problem is going to be whether or not you guys are actually going to follow through and do this, okay? Out of this this number that I shared here, 17% of people who did not make that money, very few of them did not, I mean, you know, very few of them actually tried it, really tried it, and then had a hang up and couldn't get past it. Most of them either just didn't follow it or just didn't try it, or something like that. So as long as you follow this business model, I hope you guys can see that you can very easily do this, and it does make all the sense in the world. And I'm not showing you a fancy car and a fancy house and my mortgage is paid off and blah, 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 or my bank account to convince you for that. I'm actually just showing you and appealing to your logic in that, okay? So there's actually some questions we're going to address quick. But before we get to the questions, I know there's been 3 people who have already asked about how do we get started with the whole process. Like I said, you would get started with this DS Domination Pro level. And here's what you would do for that. Just go to dsdomination.com/signup. That's it, okay? And this is what the page is going to look like. Let me just show you guys so you can see it. This is what your page is going to be looking like. You're going to fill out this information and you're just going to hit sign up. And now this is a very important thing I want you guys to pay attention to. You're going to see this field here. It's going to say something like you have been referred by. It's going to say a username. And it's going to say the referrer's name. Now that should be the person who invited you to this webinar today, okay? It should pick that up by cookies, but let's say you're on a different computer, on a tablet or something like that. This might reflect somebody else here. We want to make sure that you have the right referrer there. If it doesn't show the right referrer, then please go back to the emails you received in the past to invite you to the webinar and use that email. Make sure you're using the right link, okay? Because we want to make sure that people get credit for it, which is actually going to segue into our step 3 of the whole process as well. But this is all you got to do. Just go through this, go ahead and start sign up, create your account, and then you can just, everything is very, very, very user-friendly. There's nothing complex in there at all. Now, while you guys are doing that, we're going to go ahead and answer some of the remaining questions, and then we will go on to step 3 because we're not done yet. Step 3 is actually going to blow all of this out of into a completely different scale. So this is where you go to sign up. I'm going to put that link for you guys in the chat box so you can easily access it and just click on it. And now we're going to take some questions while you guys are signing up. Okay.
Hey, so, Tash, can I have the screen really quickly?
Yep. Here you go.
One of the questions I saw in the chat box was, can older people do this? And then they stated their age. And you know, we didn't set this up, of course. 9 hours ago, I posted on my Facebook wall a testimonial that came in from someone. I'm an elite member. In the first paragraph, they mentioned some sites that are in the $99 level, so I kind of blacked those out because this is public stuff. By the way, I'm 72-year-old, retired, have been a member of DSD since early October. I'm absolutely astounded how well the program works. So far for the month of November, I've reached $4,300 in sales and profit, $497 with eBay, another $825 in sales, and $90 on Amazon, selling on Amazon. That's a whole different other feature. And I'm going to scroll down while we're happen to be on here, and just kind of look at how people are changing lives. And this isn't, we bought a Ferrari. I had two main goals this month. One, hit 3,000 sales. As today, I'm at 3,723.29. So I'm up in my goal to 4,000. The other goal is to be able to make a substantive contribution to my household. I'm a stay-at-home mom who has floundered with a couple MLM companies over the past few years. My goal for November is to be able to contribute half of our rent payment for December from eBay sales, after paying for Pro, Elite, and Affiliate, and all the fees. I am only $147.64 away from that goal, and I know I will make it. Next month, my goal would be 3/4 of the rent, and start January, I'll be able to cover the whole thing. For the first time since my son was born over 3 years ago, I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel where I can have the life at home with my kids and that I want without making my husband 100% responsible for keeping a roof over our heads. I truly cannot thank you enough. Casey, these are real people that are really winning for the first time and really making money, and my Facebook wall is littered with these folks just kind of celebrating. And just an FYI, that's my family right there, and I put this up a couple hours ago. If it pops up, Dad's doing a webinar and doesn't trust the internet at the Great Wolf Lodge, so I'm still at home, but girls, I'll be there soon. Back to you, Atesh.
Okay, you know, I don't really know how to top that one. I think this was like a planned thing by Roger to make it seem better. There's nothing I can do now on the webinar that's going to make it seem better. Okay, I guess here's the bottom line, the point that we're getting at. The point over here is that this whole idea that we conceived about Ds Domination actually comes from the idea that, you know, everybody out there claims that when 98% of the people fail, that's their fault. That, oh, it's because they're lazy, or it's because they're dumb, or something like that. And you've heard all of this stuff before. Or they just didn't build a list fast enough. They just didn't drive enough traffic. Stuff like that. We don't really buy that at all. And actually, we can prove that, because if that was the case, 83% of the people in their first month would not be in profits with our system, right? If that was the case, that 98% of people are just lazy, that's why they fail, then we should have also seen the same failure rate. But we don't, because this is a real business model. It's all about real people actually working a real business model that makes common sense. Okay, you don't have to do all of this weird stuff and let's game YouTube to get some views on our video, or let's try and game Google to get some ranking, stuff like that. It's nothing like that. Okay, so basically, it's all to encourage you guys, go in there, get signed up, get started. Join our Facebook group. To join the Facebook group, just add Roger as a friend on Facebook, and he'll add you on the group. And that is actually a ploy by Roger to get more friends on Facebook as well. So that's what's going on there. Okay, I think people should be returning from the sign up so far. I don't think there's a lot of questions yet, except I'm going to address one question quickly, which is the question of saturation. Well, won't it create a problem if a lot of people start doing this? Won't it, what if a lot of people start doing this? Okay, currently we have about 15,000 people doing this, and if anything, the success rates and the speed at which people are getting success has become better, not worse over time, because we have been able to perfect the system a little bit more. We've been able to release more software that ties and makes things easier, things like that. So it's actually gotten better over time, not worse. But I want you to consider for a second, the question of saturation comes up when you are doing an activity that is limited to a number of people. Okay, when only a small group of people can do something, the more people who start doing it, the more the profit gets diluted. Here you are participating in the buying and selling of millions of people every single day. You're not doing something very unique or special out there. You're actually just participating in the classic human interaction of buying and selling. Okay, so the idea of saturation doesn't even begin to figure here. If we had 50,000 people in here and they were all trying to do something weird with eBay, there might be a question about if there's something wrong. But everything that you're going to be doing in here is actually beneficial to everyone in the process. The customer gets the product that they want for the price they feel comfortable. The eBay makes money, PayPal makes money, Amazon gets a sale, the manufacturer who supplied the product to Amazon in this step or to the other suppliers makes a sale, so therefore they make money. And you make money as being the facilitator of this whole thing. And Ds Domination makes money as being the catalyst for this whole event to occur. Everybody makes money. And if you know anything about free market economics, in proper trade, in proper market transactions, there is no loser. Everybody gets what they wanted. Everybody makes some profit. Everybody's successful. So that's really what's going on here. There is really no question of saturation that you should be worried about here, because just Amazon alone has a dynamic range of 26 million products on there right now. And we're not even talking about all the other suppliers and things like that. And remember what I said, we're not going to rely on Amazon forever. Amazon and eBay are there to get our feet wet, to get to a point where we can sustain our business, where we can grow our business, maybe get enough money to pay our bills. Really, the big money starts coming when we diversify and we really start growing this business as a business. Okay, so hopefully that addresses your question. That really, I understand why you would ask that, but at the same time, it's primarily because you're used to all these different business models where the model is, here's how you can get the top ranking in Google. Well, there's only one top ranking in Google. So if 1,000 people are trying for it, 999 of them are guaranteed to fail. So in our case, that's not what's going on here. You don't have to worry about that whatsoever. And if you ever experience that, we are more than happy to help you through it. Okay? So I think at this point, everybody gets this part. People are returning from signing up. I see quite a few messages from people saying, okay, they finished the sign-up process, and some people saying, hey, I just saw so-and-so sign up, things like that. That's awesome. We're really, really happy that you're doing that. Welcome to this. Now we're going to talk about the step 3. Okay. Now step 3 is the most, at first may seem like the most familiar out of everything that we've shown you so far, but at the same time, it's also the most unique because of a very specific model that we have going on here. So before I can explain step 3, you guys need to understand some basic thing about economics. If you guys have ever looked at any economics chart, they basically have this graph that is drawn in there, which covers income from labor. Okay, so income from labor or work. I'm just going to say income from work, and then age. Okay, and this is not something fangled. It's common sense. Just you'll understand pretty quickly. And here's what it means. It means that when you first start out, you are young. You are 12, 15, 16. Your income is low. As you grow, your income gets higher, and then there's a peak, and then the income goes down. Okay, and this is basically broken down like this. At this age right here, you have no qualification. You're mowing lawns and babysitting. At this point, you're working at McDonald's and stuff. Maybe you are 18, 19, something like that. At this point, at this peak age, over here, you have your degrees and you have some work experience. So now your income is really going to peak. This is usually considered the age from 35 to 55. And after that, your income starts going down. And the idea is that by the time you get to 55, you try to develop something known as an investment income, which is income from investments. Okay, so income from where you're not working, or passive income. Okay, now this is the exact same model that you just saw play out with Ds Domination. Okay, here's what you're doing. You first start out, you have no qualifications, you have no understanding, you get pro, you start making money. Then you get elite, and your income starts growing. Then you get unleashed. Now you're double dipping and all that good stuff, and now you're basically maximizing your income. But there has to come a point where you need to have a plan to move from this income where you're working for it, because you're still listing items and you're shipping out the items, not physically shipping, but you're placing the orders on behalf of the customers and you're managing the whole thing. You're basically trading hours for money, to moving on to a stage where primarily your income becomes passive and you're not working for it all the time. Okay, so to make that happen, we tied in a very unique style of an affiliate program within Ds Domination. Okay, now I'm sure you guys have heard of this. I started by saying you guys know about affiliate programs and stuff, but here is the problem. Majority of those, like I said, 98% of those fail for a very specific reason. And I told you that mathematically I'll prove it to you guys. There are 3 conditions for any affiliate program or any kind of program or network marketing program, MLM program, whatever you might want to call it. There are 3 conditions for it to succeed. And if it doesn't match those 3 conditions, then it's going to fail. Okay, and here is what happens. If you have actually, can I take a quick poll? If you've ever participated in an MLM or a network marketing company or affiliate programs, if you can just say, yes, I have, or I know about them, that way I can actually know that I'm speaking to people who understand that already. Okay, there you go. So a whole lot of people, fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of people have experience with that. Here is what happens, right? Here's what they say. Look, here's you and then you recruit a couple people, and those couple people go get, this guy gets 3, this guy gets 2, and then this guy will get some, and blah, 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 and you're making all of this money, right? This is what they say. This is you up here. And here is reality what happens. Mathematically, this guy cannot make money because his only source of income is to recruit others. Mathematically, this man will not make money. Okay, that's just a reality that nobody wants to point out. So this guy will stop making money, will never make money actually, neither will these guys. These people here will make a tiny bit of money, but they will quit because this guy also quit. And basically from bottom up happens this erosion, and eventually you quit as well, okay? That's typically what happens. Now, I know that there are some unique cases where rarely people make money with that, but that's usually what happens. And mathematically, people cannot make money in this model, okay? That's just a fact. So there are 3 conditions for that not to occur. The first is that your income needs to be residual or passive. That means that you don't have to go out and generate new commissions and new customers all the time because there are a limited number of customers. You don't have to go out there. If you keep going out there and trying to generate new customers all the time, you're going to basically lose out, okay? So there has to be a residual or a passive income coming in from that. The second thing that needs to happen is leverage. That means you must be able to earn not just from your own efforts, but also from the efforts of everybody else and from basically efforts outside of yourself. That's the whole idea of leverage. And the third and the most important is self-sustenance. Now, when I talk about self-sustenance, here's what it means. You see over here, this is not a sustained model. This cannot occur in the real world because this geometric regression. What we're going to do instead is we're going to talk about a standard where this system is entirely sustained by itself. So you don't have to actually experience this loss. And here's what that is. This is called the cost offset model. And this will make a lot of sense the second you guys actually understand it. Here is the customer. Here is you. Okay, you are the affiliate. And here is the company. In this case, the company is Ds Domination. Okay. Here is what typically happens, right? You are the customer, you're the affiliate, you go out there, you acquire the customer for the company. The customer pays a certain amount of dollars to the company, and the company then turns it out and pays a certain amount of dollars to you as a commission. Okay, everybody should understand this is very straightforward. But here's the problem. The customer, as you can see, is in a loss because he's just spending money and never gaining money, and that's why these guys will drop out of it. It doesn't matter if it's a juice or a coffee or a pill or whatever they're selling, they're eventually going to drop out of that. So what happens is, in Ds Domination's case, the customer is actually generating an income from the drop shipping side, from eBay, Amazon, and things like that. And there's a very simple mathematical statement, which is if the green dollar is greater than the red dollar, then the customer will be retained. Okay, makes sense, right? If the customer is green dollar, which means he's making a net profit, the customer is going to stick around, which means you as an affiliate will continue to make an income for a very long period of time. Okay, and this is exactly the problem with every single other company, because this guy down here and this guy here and this lady here, they're never going to generate any income whatsoever. So they're all going to drop out, and it's going to fall like a pack of cards from bottom up. So here is what happens over here. In Ds Domination, you start out at pro. You start generating an income. You take that income, you move to elite. Now you have basically established yourself as a business. You're generating a full-time income. And then you move on to becoming an affiliate of Ds Domination itself. At this point, if you share Ds Domination with somebody, you put on Facebook that you're doing well with eBay and stuff like that, here's what starts happening. Customers start coming in. And the way our commission model works is that we pay 50% commissions on level 1. That means if you were to generate 2 sales, if 2 people heard about Ds Domination through your link, then that basically covers your costs for Ds Domination. And remember, this happens monthly. So that's going on. But at the same time, I talked about leverage. That's the second condition, right? So 10% commission on level 2. So when those people walk the same path, and remember, we have an 83% success rate. So those people walk the same path, they get pro, start generating an income, go to elite, start increasing their income, they become an affiliate, and they do the exact same thing. Now you'll actually get an extra 10% income coming in from there. Then we go to 5% on level 3, 3% on level 4, 2% on level 5, as you can imagine, and then 1% from level 6 through 10. So this is a very deep, very leverageable system for you guys right there. Okay. So what's happening here is you start generating a passive income that's being grown by itself, that's being leveraged and being grown by automatically without you having to put a massive amount of effort into it. Okay. And then it gets a little bit better. Remember, I said the first condition is must be residual. So all of these people are residual. This income you're generating from the monthly subscriptions on Pro. Remember, Pro pays you monthly, Elite pays you monthly, Unleashed pays you one time. All of this income is basically monthly income coming in for you into the future, regardless of whether or not you're doing that drop shipping anymore. And then finally, the point of self-sustenance. And remember what I said about our retention rates. We have a 90% plus retention rate on Elite. So because these people are going to be retained in there, you don't have to go out there and spend all your time regenerating the people that you lost and trying to build up teams that are constantly falling apart and things like that. Okay, so that's in a gist what the affiliate program side of this looks like. Now, this is not a novel idea. Okay, we actually tried this out quite a few months ago. What we did is we did not have a step 3. We did this step 1, step 2, but we didn't have a step 3, so we tied in with a different network marketing company. We said, hey, you know, guys, we understand this idea. Let's try it out. Well, it never happened successfully with them because people would make money with step 1 and 2, and then they would lose money on step 3 because it lacked self-sustenance, and it did not have the proper leverage built in. So in our case, when we built this whole idea out, we said, you know what, we need to build this internally. We need to build an internal affiliate program that actually makes sense and basically fulfills these 3 conditions, which as of right now, I don't believe there's any other product or company or anything like that on the market that actually fulfills all 3 of these conditions in this way. Okay, so does anybody have questions about this? I see a lot of this is awesome and thank you guys and stuff like that. I just want to know if there are any more questions about this. Oh, let me address one thing that I completely forgot about. Way back, I talked about, right in the beginning, I said, listen, this is what causes failure, right? This technical mumbo jumbo and then driving traffic. That's what causes a failure rate. So we taught you how to leverage eBay and Amazon in step 1. We taught you how to leverage other marketplaces and other suppliers in step 2. Now it comes to step 3. And in step 3, we have to now also use the same kind of leverage. Okay, so when we come to the affiliate side, I want to talk about something very unique that Ds Domination has that other companies don't. Now, most of you people, okay, most of you guys on here, including me, don't want to become salespeople. We don't want to be guys who learn how to sell stuff all the time. We don't want to, and we don't have the skills for it, and most of us don't want to develop that either. Okay, so here is what Ds Domination actually does internally. There is a product within Ds Domination, as you can see right here, called Market Extreme. Okay, and here's what happens with Market Extreme. Instead of you going out there and you trying to generate your squeeze pages and build the whole system and try to do all that stuff, you actually just give us your affiliate username and you say, I want to build a list. Let's say you tell us what your list wants to build, what list you want to build, and go ahead and just create a lead generator. And what we do then is we go out there and we produce the pages for you and we produce the follow-up for you guys. We actually do the follow-up on your behalf and all that good stuff, so you don't have to do that. But there is one crucial component, which is getting more traffic to yourself without doing it. So instead of you going out there and trying to purchase traffic and doing PPC and testing it all that out and things like that, instead you focus on just the part that you're familiar with, which is making an income with doing the drop shipping side, right? So you're making all this money with step 1 and 2, and you just take part of that money. Let's say that you made $800 doing the drop shipping, and you say, you know what, I'm going to take $300 and I'm going to start doing some marketing. Well, you don't have to do the marketing because you just come in here and you say, let's see how many leads I can get. No, it looks like I can get a lot more. Oh, look, for $370, I could generate 200 leads. You just simply click on this. Now we go out there, take your page, drive the traffic to your page, get the leads in your list, and you get all the credit for that. Okay, so that's the massive benefit out of this thing. Okay, so you guys don't actually have to even do the hard work or traffic generation and things like that once you get to the final stage of step 3. We basically continue that whole process of just leveraging the platform that's already out there. Okay, I see a couple of questions, asked questions about, okay, what about Market Extreme? Do we get commissions on that? And what is this DSD monopoly? Okay, we don't always talk about DS domination monopoly because this is really advanced compared to everything we just showed you. This is kind of like the final step, not the final step really, but in the earlier portions, we are selling on eBay, we're using Amazon as a supplier, but we basically use monopoly to start selling stuff on Amazon itself. And we actually provide UPC codes and all that fancy stuff which you need for that. We don't like talking about it because we don't believe that the average user is equipped to get to that right away. So we really just let you work up to that. And hopefully that shows you something about us. We're not trying to sell you on that. We could show you very successful incomes coming from that, but we don't want to actually talk about that yet. But let me break down the costs and how this whole thing pays out to you. Okay. So Pro and Elite are monthly products, but Unleashed, Monopoly, and Market Extreme are one-time products, which means they're a one-time cost. Unleashed costs $249 one time, Monopoly costs $499 one time, and Market Extreme costs $199 one time. Okay. Here's what basically what's going to happen. So when you get to step 3, and you can do the step 3 right now. Some of you are marketers and you want to start with step 3, go with step 3 right away if you want. But when you start doing this, what's going to happen is you're going to get 50% commissions on this, 50% commission on this, 50% commission on this. And then as those people also follow the same process and get to step 3, you're going to get 10% commission on that. And then as those people continue, you're going to get 5% commission on that. And it really adds up very, very quickly. Actually, if you guys give me a second, I'm going to try and find, there's actually a really old screenshot that I prepared right in the beginning, like right when we had launched. This is at the end of the first 30 days. And you can actually see the kind of affiliate commissions that our users were generating. Okay, so as you can see right here, here's 15,000 almost, here's 8,500, 3,500, 1,700. And remember, all of this is in addition to all the income that these affiliates are generating from the drop shipping side. So they're making income using the product as an eBay seller or things like that, while at the same time they're making this massive income also from the affiliate side. Okay, there's actually, now like I said, this is from the first 30 days. So this is basically from end of September. By now, some of these guys have grown to really massive numbers. Actually, I believe this account in particular, I think this is close to $40,000 now in commissions. And there's quite a few others who have gone into 5 figures already. So again, I could show you all those screenshots. I don't want to show you the screenshots and make you think, oh, you need to do this. I really just want to appeal to your common sense here. And hopefully you guys can see how this thing works and how it works and why it works and why we have the success rates that we do. So let's quickly address the qualifications. What are the qualifications for you to earn commissions? Qualifications to earn commissions. Okay, like everything else, we are super transparent, super easy to work with. There is no fangled system. There are no pass up a sale here and make 8 sales over there and 2,800 volume there. Nothing like that. It's actually very straightforward. There are 2 conditions. One, you must be an active affiliate, which is $9.95 a month. Okay, now this is really important. I want to clarify this part. There are 2 reasons that we have to do this. One is it distinguishes customers from affiliates right off the bat. We know who's an affiliate, we know who's a customer. So when we do our calculations of our system and we do audits of our system, we know where we stand. That's one. But second, as opposed to every other affiliate program out there or MLM program out there, we do not pass the cost of payment processing on to you guys. As you can imagine, every time that somebody comes in and we process their payment, there's a cost to us. But we don't actually pass that cost on to you. We just eat that cost on your behalf. So this completely helps us offset that. And obviously, as you do well, this doesn't offset that at all for us, but it helps out with that side as well. The second condition is you must own the product you are promoting or must generate 3 sales. Now, this is very, very easy and straightforward to understand. If you follow this pathway, right, you follow the pathway, you have Pro, then you have Elite, and you have Unleashed, that means that you will be able to earn commissions whenever somebody purchases Pro, Elite, or Unleashed from your links. Okay. If you want to generate commissions from Monopoly, then you either have to own Monopoly or you have to generate 3 sales off Monopoly. Obviously, if you purchase it yourself and use it yourself, then it positions you really well to work with it, and it makes a lot more sense, and you make a lot more commissions on that. But these are the only 2 qualifications. There is no other qualification. You guys do not have to go out there and make a certain number of sales per month to qualify. If you are an active Pro member and you generate a pro sale, you get the 50% commission right away. Okay, there is no restriction on that. Okay, I'm going to answer a few questions quickly. First one is, what does DS stand for? DS stands for drop shipping. Okay, and drop shipping is this process where we provide products to customers without ever handling those products ourselves. Okay, so that's basically the idea there. When did you launch? We went public on the 1st of September, but the eBay, Amazon, basically the step 1 and 2 side of all of these things have been done for over a year and a half. We have a very, very successful track record with it, which is why we were so desperate to try and mass produce it and turn that into a model that could be used by other people. On 1st September, we basically released all step 1, 2, and 3 combined together out there. And as of right now, we have almost 15,000 users in here. So our growth has been astronomical. There have been no major issues from that, actually not even minor issues from that. Users are extremely happy. We have extremely high success rates, retention rates, all of that good stuff. You guys can see all of the stuff yourself. And you saw our Alexa ranking. We're amongst the top 700 websites in the US. So it's going really, really well because we are appealing, as I said, to logic and not to emotions. So that's what we're doing. For those that live in Canada or any other country, how can they sell on eBay without having Canadian address kick in? Now, this is an awesome question, and I'm kind of sorry that I didn't address this right in the beginning. Now, the whole concept of Ds Domination is entirely global, okay? You can be anywhere in the world. As long as you have access to PayPal, you can sell on eBay. However, the process is slightly different, okay? So, for example, if you're a US person, then you can go ahead and start selling on eBay US directly right away. If you're not from the US, if you're a non-US user, then the process is slightly different. You actually have to go through a slightly different verification process, and you have to do a slightly different listing process right at the beginning. But you have the exact same market. You will be able to do the exact same things, okay? So we actually have specific training on that. You know what? I'll just show you guys that. Let's go to modules 1 through 5 in Pro. And you will see right here, this is a welcome video. It walks you through it. It talks about how to set up your eBay account. And then right here, it says, if you're outside of the United States, here's what you do then. Okay, so we address both of those very specifically. They're both dealt with, and we have tips in there. But here's the fun thing about this. As opposed to most of the things, there is actually a very fun thing about this, which is that in some non-US locations, you actually have an advantage over US places, over US residents. Particularly if you are using Monopoly, for example, and you're a Canadian, you actually have an advantage there even over the US sellers. If you are in UK, for example, we have some specific websites that are specifically for UK only. So there's benefits that you guys get. And we currently have very significant populations from Australia, UK, Canada. We have people from India. We have a lot of different people from different places, New Zealand, for example. So we have a lot of people from many different places in here. And roughly 40% of our members are actually non-US members. So that hopefully should let you guys understand this really works with everyone. How do you receive your commissions if you're an affiliate? Okay, your commissions are actually, your commissions immediately when you generate a sale go into a pending balance. And after they have been verified over 23 days, that moves from your pending balance to your approved balance, okay? And once it goes into your approved balance, you can transfer that to our e-wallet system from where you can move it to your bank account directly, ACH, check if you want, you can put it on debit card directly. You have all the different options available to you that you could possibly want. Okay, and let me see, what is the ratio of buyers to leads generated people are saying? Okay, so Donnie, I'm assuming you're a marketer because most people don't ask that question, but I'll give you a pretty interesting little number here. First of all, I ran a sample test myself in here, and I generated an EPC of 5.4, which you can imagine is ridiculously high, especially on recurring billing product. I generated an EPC of $5.4 over 30 days of follow-up from the promotions that I did, and that was done with solo ads. Okay, and I actually just recently, about 4 days ago, ran another campaign where we had 2,124 clicks to the basic link, which went to one video which then went to our webinar replay, and that generated $4,197 in commissions. Okay, so you can right away see that it's actually converting extremely well. It's actually quite honestly the best converting program out there right now from the affiliate side, because again, it works with logic, not on people's emotions. So you don't need to be a good salesman to actually get sales. You just need to actually be able to show it to them, which is very easy to do. So we have people who are doing very well using Craigslist, using solo ads, using their own list, using Facebook, and all those kind of things. What percentage of sales are returns and chargebacks and things like that? Our total returns and chargebacks are less than 1%. So there's really nothing major going on there. Obviously, if we detect an account where there's a lot of fraud happening, then we obviously deal with that and we eliminate that. But most of the, I mean, we actually haven't had any severe issues with that whatsoever up until this point. Okay, I think we've answered everything. Okay, Joey has a question about why is there a 23-day hold on funds? To give time to make sure there is no fraud, to make sure that people don't do it, there are no chargebacks, things like that. Okay, Dan, your question about what happens if someone cancels the placed order. Here is what happens. The person cancels the order. You basically get a label. There's actually a whole process right here. In here, there's a whole process which actually walks you through exactly how to go about it. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong page there. But in modules 11 through 13, it actually talks about exactly how to deal with refunds, with somebody who wants to return a product. And actually, in some cases, you can make money on even on a refund, and you almost never lose any money with any of the returns. Okay. And while I'm on the page, this is a part that I completely forgot to mention earlier. So, as you know, there are people out there who need money right away, for whom even $20 is a pretty significant amount of money. And there are people in that situation. So there's a thing that we did that's called cash out offers. And here's how this cash out offers things works. Basically, we tied up with all of these different companies out there, all of these different CPA offers, and you can come in here and basically get CPA commission money. So how many of you have ever shopped at Costco? If you've ever gone to Costco, or if you've purchased stuff from Amazon, if you've done anything like that, just say, yes, I have. Okay, beautiful. So lots of people have. Okay, have you noticed that when you go to Costco, they force you to get this American Express card? And when you go to Amazon, every time you go to checkout, they show you this offer. They say, get the Amazon credit card, and we take $30 off your order right now. They do that all the time, right? The reason they do that is because they actually get a commission from the credit card company whenever that happens. So we looked at that and we said, oh, brilliant. We can do the same thing, except instead of us keeping the money, we can pass that commission on to you guys. So somebody can come in here, apply for a Discover card through Ds Domination, and get $45 immediately credited to their account. Okay, that's almost 3 months of 2.5 months of their pro payments. Okay, and that's instant pretty much, and that's in their first 5 minutes of being a Ds Domination member. So what we basically did is we found that process out, we copied that process, but instead of keeping the money to ourselves, we just give the money to our users, because like I said, our whole aim here is to make sure that our users are successful. So if somebody comes in who says, you know what, I don't know if I can afford $20 a month, all they need to do is understand they can come in here and do this, and their 2.5 months of Ds Domination Pro membership is already paid for. And I mean, they can order Disney movies for $8 and get $17 for that. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous actually. And unfortunately, I don't have the time on this webinar to walk you through every single thing that we have in there. That's awesome. But we have the cash out offers that basically make it a risk-free system for everyone. And then we have all the live trainings. Remember, if you sign up for Pro today, which many of you did already, when you did that, please go to live training and register for the webinar tomorrow, because tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have a webinar with all of our pro users. So we have a live event, and we have all the question and answer sessions, and all that good stuff happens. And if you got to Elite, then go ahead and get to the Elite live training, and we have that at 10 p.m. Eastern. So you guys can attend those and get all sorts of wonderful questions and answers and stuff like that. Okay, do you recommend using this if you already have Amazon and eBay accounts? Well, almost everybody has Amazon accounts right now. So no, there's no problem with you using an existing Amazon account to do your purchasing. just the only thing is that it is against Amazon's Prime program, against that terms of service for you to use that to dropship products. So we don't suggest that you do that. You can actually just take their free shipping system instead, which you have availability for, and all of that is covered in the training. With eBay, if you had an account in the past and you were suspended or blocked from eBay for all sorts of shenanigans, okay, no matter what it is, whatever reasoning was, we don't suggest that you try and create a new account, because most of the time they're going to just block you again. So if your account was canceled in the past, don't do it. Instead, take the Pro, understand the whole process, but then go to Elite and start using the marketplace in Elite. Okay, and then the obvious question, can I use eBay as a supplier? Yeah, in some cases you will find products are cheaper on eBay than they are on Amazon. Actually, that can happen quite a bit. And you can use that, you can use eBay as a source in those cases, as a supplier, instead of just Amazon. Okay. And okay, I'm going to take last like 2 questions. So if you have a question, just throw in there quick. So one question by Rich. Does the Prime Amazon account work for free shipping? Why wouldn't it? It does, but it's against Amazon's Prime shipping to use your Prime account for commercial stuff and not use it for personal purchases only. So we don't recommend that you use that. It's against the terms of services, but you can use Amazon's Super Saver shipping to get that for free as well. Okay, so that, just want to clarify that. And okay, Dan, can you use your Amazon affiliate link to purchase the eBay orders? You can, and we know people who do that, and is not necessarily against their TOS, but they don't like that very much. And if they look at your account and they see that all you're doing is just purchasing products yourself and not really using that as an affiliate, then they might just close your affiliate side of account, not your Amazon account, but just the just that account. So just the affiliate account. So okay, I think we have covered pretty much all the questions. If you guys have any more questions, just when you join Ds Domination, go through the Pro training. Every single one of the questions has been addressed in there. Go to the FAQs if you have more questions, and we have everything covered in there in very great detail for you. And if you still have more questions, come to the live event tomorrow, and we will address more questions on there. It's only just going to be a Q&A thing and things like that. And I just want to close this with this interesting comment by Nathan, who just said, I literally just made a $60 sale, LOL. So clearly this is working while he's on the webinar here, just like all of these people that I showed you guys earlier, which is working on the webinar. Okay, guys, we're coming up on an hour and a half. We've obviously gone a half an hour over because we've been addressing all the Q&A. I'm going to address one last question. I keep saying that, but I'm going to address this one question because this is an important question. For one, here is your link for those of you who are wondering. Here's the link that you guys need to go to. Here is the link again in your chat box. And while you're doing that and doing the signups and stuff, let me please walk you through one very important thing that nobody else on any sales webinar ever will do. Because I'm going to talk about one other issue. I talked about all the problems that people face doing this and how we solve them. There's one more thing that I didn't mention, and it's just because it's very rare that somebody asks about it. PayPal will usually hold your funds when you first start out. Okay, PayPal will say, let's say that. So I'm going to draw this out so it makes sense. So here's Amazon, and there is a product, let's say for $100 on here, and you're going to sell the product on eBay for, or whatever suppliers, and I'm just going to say Amazon, just any supplier. So you have a supplier who's going to supply the product for $100 to you, and you're going to list it on eBay. Let's say you listed it for $129, okay? So you listed it for $129, and here is basically what's happening here. Somebody comes to you on eBay and they place an order. So this $129 goes to your PayPal immediately, okay? So your PayPal account now has $129. Now you need to go to your supplier and place an order of $100. But PayPal will usually put a hold on these funds right in the beginning. Right in the beginning, they're going to say, hey, we don't know you. We don't know if you're just going to take this money and run away with it. So they put a hold on this. They say, please send the product to the customer. Okay, so ship the product to the customer and then show us the tracking information. So you'll go to Amazon or to whatever supplier you're using. You'll order the product and send it to Joe, who is your customer, who ordered the product from you, and then you will get a tracking number, and you will submit that tracking to PayPal, and they will release your funds to your account. Okay. Now here is what that means. That means that at most you just have to cash flow this sale up front, but you have the money in your PayPal account. Don't wait to transfer money from your PayPal account to your bank account, because that's going to take 3 days right there. And those 3 days, you don't want the customer to be waiting for the product, and they might leave a negative feedback because it took you, 8 days to get the product to them. So when an order comes in, you send the product out right away while this money is still in your PayPal account, and then you get access to it. Now, when you start building up some history with them, once you start doing this a lot, then this problem completely is eliminated, because you can call in and say, hey, I've been doing this with you for 3 months, and I actually have the very specific directions for what to do in here in the FAQ, and that will walk you through the process right here. PayPal is holding my funds. What should I do? It'll walk you through the exact process of what to do, and then PayPal will actually stop holding your funds from that point on, and you can grow even faster, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, so clearly this is like the worst case scenario that you can imagine. And I'm giving you guys that worst case scenario because we don't believe in hyping stuff and leaving out information or anything like that. So hopefully you see where our mind is. We just want to make sure that you guys understand this whole process, and you can get going with this right away. So I'm just going to close this out with one final simple thing, which is this is all about you taking action from this point on. We can do whatever you want. We can set up all the systems. We've shown you everything live. There's nothing hidden here. You've seen the whole platform. There's no magic to this. This is a very, very simple, basic e-commerce system that has been used for ages. We have just finally been able to combine multiple major platforms to make this work. All you guys have to do is go create your account, get pro, and get going. If you're somebody who is much more interested in the affiliate side, then you can progress to affiliate step right off the bat if you want. If you're more interested in getting to elite right away, get pro and then get elite right away as well. And just get going as quickly as you can if that's what you want. For the rest of you who have monetary issues, or you just want to take it slow, you do want to do it on your own pace, go with this Ds Domination Pro right now. There is no need for you to go all in and buy everything. We don't want you to do that. We want you to do what is right for you and your circumstance. Okay. So beyond this, if you guys have any other questions at all, contact whoever invited you to this webinar. You can contact us if you have more questions. And I hope to see most of you guys on the webinar tomorrow with pro and elite users. All right. So all of you have a wonderful, awesome evening or morning or wherever you are in the world. And we will see you on another webinar.
Learn how you can create an online income by leveraging 2 of the largest online stores, Amazon and eBay. Click on the link below and get started today.